Back at it here in the Tigers Avenue. We really are excited to have Coach Gary Redus. Zach, he told you, and you did it.
Yeah, I had to ask him.
I just heard you say Redus, and I'm like,
how dare you? He told you.
I know it. I DM'd and everything. It's like, hey, we got to make sure we get this pronunciation right, like how you pronounce it. And then right before we go to break, I was like,
how dare you? The fail of a lifetime. No, I'm kidding.
I know it.
So,
Coach,
what do you go by? Do they call you Coach Gary?
Coach G.
All right,
yeah.
Good deal.
They even dropped the coach after a while. I'm not really formal.
So it's just G.
It's just G.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome. Hey, man, we really appreciate you hopping on and taking some time out of your day to answer a few questions. Man, what a big day for the women's basketball program and for you personally. I mean, Anissa Morrow announces her commitment to LSU. Just to kind of start off the questions, man, what does that mean to this program to get a girl like that out of the portal?
It's big. It's big for the continued development and for the continued growth of our program. We've had a lot of success. I mean, in these 2 years, right? But it's just been 2 years. Like, it's not like we have just years and years and years and years and years of recruiting classes where we can just, pick the next one. All right, come on. You're here now. Right? It's not like that. And I think that's what Coach Mulkey had the luxury of having at Baylor. And that was one of the really selling things for me to come here to LSU, to be able to kind of jumpstart and help jumpstart, the program from a recruiting aspect. So, we got to keep getting good players. So to be able to get, one of, if not the best player in the portal, this cycle is, a big get for us, especially, following up, getting, one of, if not the best players out of the portal, last week. So we just want to keep building, man.
Well, hey, look, Coach G, to be able to get both of these, I mean, they're the top two players in the portal. The question that I want to ask is, obviously you bring back Angel, you have Flage there, obviously, and then also you have Kateri Poole and you have all the other players. How do you manage all these different personalities? And I mean, let's be honest, they're bucket getters. They're going to go score. We know what the stats are on Haley. We know what the stats are on Anissa. We know what the stats are on Angel. Obviously, Flage Johnson, freshman of the year in the SEC. How are y'all able to manage all of these players, all of their skill sets, all of their personalities, and bring it all together to form a team for next season?
I don't know, but Coach Mulkey will know how to do it. I'm not worried about it. I'm literally not worried about that part at all, because we just had 9 new players last year.
Yeah.
I think that was the biggest question for a lot of people last year. I don't know if it's going to keep being the big question or whatever, but not worried about it. Coach Mulkey is the greatest coach of all time. So I'm not worried about anything when it comes to managing personalities, carving out roles, anything in between. I'm not worried about it. Like, Coach Mulkey is the best for that reason, because she does such a masterful job at it on a daily basis. Kids will have their roles. Kids will have to sacrifice. All of them, every single person. Like, these kids came here to win. Like, Anissa probably won't average 25 and 13 next year. I hope she does, but she probably won't. Like, Haley's numbers will probably go down a little bit. I hope they don't, but they probably will. Like, Angel probably won't average 35 and 30 like she averaged. I hope she does, but she may not, But it's just a part of it. Like, I think it's all for the greater good. Like, these kids knew who we had coming back when they decided to come here. Anissa knew who we had coming in when she decided to come here. So, they understand it's a sacrifice, and they came here to win. And if we're here to win, we're here to win. And, you know, it's not about it. Everyone has to like put aside personal egos.
Yeah.
And everyone is going to put aside personal egos or else.
Coach Kim's gonna make them do it, right?
Yes, don't play that.
So on that note, G, you said, look, Kim Mulkey's got it. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
On that note, you as a coach, personally, what is one thing you have learned under her? I mean, you just said that she's the greatest coach of all time. So, I mean, I'm sure there's a million things you could say, but what's the biggest thing you've learned as a coach from Kim?
That every little detail matters and not to let anything slide. She doesn't let anything slide. And I mean nothing. Like there was one game that we played in, I feel like it was before like the Michigan game or something like that.
Okay.
And she always sits in the practice gym before she like comes into the coach's locker room because that's where she does her pregame interviews. And she sent the staff group chat, she sent us a picture of a clock. She was holding a clock, the clock from the wall in the practice gym. She sent us a picture of it. And all of us were like, and then she followed it up with the text and she was like, it was right after daylight saving. She was like, so nobody knew the time on this clock was wrong. It's been wrong for how long and nobody noticed that? I had to notice it. I had to fix it. I had to take it down myself. We have all these coaches, all these managers, all this support staff, and no one could fix it. She was like, I guess I got to do everything.
Wow.
That's definitely.
But it's like that with everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that I learned. Nothing is too big. Nothing is too small. Every little thing matters. And when you work enough, like you've been around people who say it and you're around people who, spit out the cute mantras and things like that. But she like lives it. She really, really lives that.
It's not just coach speech.
Oh, no. No.
And she has brought this program to a place where, I mean, y'all are getting national recognition. And obviously with everything that y'all have done and that the work that you've put in as well to bringing in these transfer portal players. And then obviously coming off a national championship game, me and Reagan were just mentioning before you came on, a couple of years ago, it was like, hey, let's just get a winning season. Right. And then, after that, now it's like, okay, let's, as Kim stated, let's get past round 2. We want to try and get past round 2. Those are our expectations. But now things have changed a little bit. You've won a national championship. You've brought in the #1 recruiting class in the nation, which is obviously kudos to y'all. You brought in the #1 transfer portal class. The expectations, Coach G, they're going to be there now. They're there now. So how do the players, how do y'all manage those expectations?
You embrace it. You come to work every day. I mean, we have the talent to do it. I think we've shown that. So now it's our job and the players' job to get in there and work every single day. Like work like you're trying to go back to a Final Four and to a national championship game. You have to do that every single day. We don't feel like every season is national championship or bust, like from here on out. That's not how we feel. I think that's unfair to, our players. That's unfair to our fans, even though our fans don't care. But that isn't fair to like push on our girls. It's not. But we have to give a national championship effort every single day. Like we aren't sneaking up on anybody anymore. I think we had the luxury of that for a little bit last year.
Right.
I mean, we aren't playing to, be in the top 4 of the SEC tournament anymore. We aren't playing to make it to Sweet 16s. We know that. But eventually, this is what we wanted to get the program to. And fortunately, like Mulkey has dealt with these expectations for the last, 15, 20 years at Baylor?
No doubt.
So she gets it. She gets it. Like And I'm not worried about that part either. Like, she'll manage those expectations every single day. She'll make sure that the girls are ready, that we're ready, that us as a coaching staff are prepared to, give out whatever message it is. And yeah, like, so we're excited. We're excited about it.
Coach G. Oh, go ahead.
It beats the alternative. It beats the alternative of, trying to make the tournament, or,
right.
hoping that you're in the top 8 of the SEC or something like that. Like, I've been on the other side of it. So this beats that.
So speaking of the championship, I know you mentioned it, a little bit, and the expectations there. So maybe you've been asked about this, maybe you haven't. I don't know, but I'm curious. I know I feel like I see a lot of you and Angel kind of specifically have a great relationship. A kind-hearted relationship between each other. When she flashed the ring finger and did the "you can't see me," it got a little bit of publicity. I don't know if you know this or not.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
And it became controversial.
Which was ridiculous.
Controversial.
Right.
How did y'all handle, internally that kind of scrutiny? And maybe with Angel personally, I mean, how do you handle that? Which, see, she just seemed to kind of be like, this is me, I don't care. But I mean, how does such publicity like that and scrutiny, because there were people saying some extremely inappropriate things and things that I feel like, I mean, people should have been fired for. I mean, how do you handle that after such a moment like that in the championship?
I mean, first thing, Angel had been talking trash all year. 1.
Right.
Caitlin Clark had been talking trash all year.
Right.
2. I mean, so none of that was a big deal to us. Like, we didn't even, like, we saw it all. We saw it all blowing up. But honestly, Angel didn't know any of those people. She saw them like saying stuff and then it was going viral or whatever. Those girls grew up on social media. They know how to maneuver kind of through social media.
Sure.
I think Angel had become a bit of a social media star as the year progressed.
No question.
So she learned how to kind of tune out the noise. Like, she dealt with a lot of scrutiny after, like, the South Carolina game, and then again after the Tennessee game, the only 2 games we got beat, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, she learned how to deal with it. She knew what it was. She wasn't worried about it. We were there to support her with whatever she needed. The university was there to support her in our program as much as we needed. And man, that was a blessing. But it was what it was, man. We didn't care anything about that. I think we're loud enough on social media to where we're like, whatever's coming, bring it, because we don't care. Like, we're trying to, like, build our program, build the spotlight around our program and everything like that. So it is what it is.
Awesome. And I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that because I feel like it should be that way. I feel like some of this had to do with the fact that it was women's college basketball rather than men's.
Yes.
Because I feel like it wouldn't have been that big of an issue if it was like the men's Final Four or the men's championship. And it became a big issue, but it's like, man, they're just passionate about their game. Like, and they're out there winning a natty. Like, and you're upset she's flashing a ring and doing the same celebration she just did. Like, what are we talking about here? Anyway,
but it's casual people watching women's sports for the first time ever in history, and they're really just watching clips on social media, so they have so much to say, but everything is clickbait. And I think Coach Mulkey did a really good job of preparing our girls for how the media was going to treat them even before the season started, because of how the media treats and portrays her.
For sure.
So they joked about it all the time, and kind of when that time came, they just kind of let it fall off.
That's
the
good to
shelf.
hear. Good to hear.
Well, you mentioned social media, and obviously, as you talked with Corey Diaz, he shared some tweets today, some quotes from y'all's conversation. You said that social media was the evolution of recruiting, and it's the evolution of these players. What is that approach for you in recruiting? Obviously, you've played a major role in recruiting and in the transfer portal, getting these players to come to LSU. So how do you approach recruiting? Obviously, as you mentioned, social media plays a big role. So kind of give us some insight into that.
These kids are on social media, right? So you talk to them so much on the phone, you talk to them so much via text message, you talk to their parents, you talk to their coaches, but they see the things that you're saying. So if you're trying to get a point across, you can use social media to do that without having to talk to them directly. You can use social media to talk to 7 different recruits at once, and all of them think that you're just talking to them, like, and it makes them feel special. And you could be talking to, one of them or all of them.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So I think that it's just a tool to be able to like broaden your scope and really just be able to use effective communication if you use it the right way. I think a lot of coaches get caught up in kind of wanting to, I think, negative recruit in a way.
Yeah.
And it makes them look kind of corny, and it makes them look kind of lame at times when they could just sell what they sell. Use social media in a way to kind of sell what you sell. Like social media for us, we had the official visit with, the big official visit for the high school kids with, Michaela, Del Rosario, and Velez. And somebody started the ADR to BTR for Aaliyah Del Rosario, and it was a hit, and it went crazy. And it was other coaches who were like, you're more than a hat. They tweeted, "You're more than a hashtag to us."
Oh Lord.
And the kids looked at it and they like, that's
Y'all
hate.
lame.
Like,
That's us.
Like, let me get my like glory for a moment. Instead of you kind of butting in, trying to make it about you and trying to make it a recruiting point for you. I think coaches, like, we can simmer down a little bit sometimes. And I think that's the thing. I think because I've been using social media like to recruit since I started coaching, and I was able to fail kind of away from, it's even weird to say the spotlight now, but people see everything I tweet now. Like they see it, but they didn't see it when I was at a Division II school. You get what I'm saying? Like they didn't really even see it the entire time I was at Vanderbilt, because the fan base wasn't as big. Like my name wasn't as big. So I got to mess up and I got to like tinker with it a little bit. And now I feel like it's like perfect.
You got it on the point now. You got it down pat.
I got it.
So one last question for you, Gary, to wrap things up here. We appreciate you joining in again and taking time to do this. So LSU aside for a second, I wanted to ask about Gary, and we do this with all of our guests. Number one, so I guess it's kind of a twofold question here. Number one, what are your personal goals as a coach? Your own personal goals as a coach. Number two, when you're not coaching and when you're not on the phone recruiting, what's a personal hobby of yours?
My personal goals as a coach, I have some personal goals while I'm here, and I have some personal goals like for just me. While I'm here, I want to sign back-to-back number 1 recruiting classes. That's really important to me. I wanted to sign back-to-back number 1 like kids in the portal. Like that's what I wanted to do. Check that one off. And I want to sign back-to-back number 1 recruiting classes. I want to help Mulkey win back-to-back titles. She's never done that. So while I'm here, I want to help her do that. And I want her to get to 3. I wanted to get to 3 here. She got 3 at Baylor. I wanted to get 3 here. Like those are my personal goals for while I'm at LSU. In addition to learning and everything like that, but things that you can put like a dollar figure on, I guess you want to say.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like those are my personal goals. But my personal goals, just as an individual coach, I want to be a head coach. I want to be a head coach someday. That's why I'm here. I want this to be my last assistant coach and stop. Yeah. And I just want to soak up as much as I can from Coach Mulkey. I want to learn as much as I can from Coach Mulkey and Coach Starkey and everyone else on the staff. Yeah. And just learn what it looks like to be and run a successful program. That's what I want to do. That's, I think, my main goal. That's my number one goal left when it comes to coaching. My hobbies, kind of outside of coaching and recruiting and all that, I scroll my phone. Like, that's all I do. That's literally all I do. I'm on my phone all the time. I have 2 little kids though. I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old.
Okay.
So playing with them, running around with them, especially my 3-year-old son, like he's really into basketball. So we sit around and we shoot basketball and we watch, like, he loves highlights. He loves watching the LSU games, but now he's really in the NBA. He's learning their names. He loves watching the games. So really just sitting around playing with my son. Like I always, like, wanted a son. I remember how it was growing up with my dad. So absolutely. Like that's something that I always wanted to do. So whether it's scrolling on my phone, and when I scroll, I'm kind of working when I scroll too. But playing with my son, playing with my family, like kicking it with my wife. We have our hands full with these kids. So you know, it's really just family time and work. That's really all I do.
Yeah. Well, I'm really glad to hear that. I actually have 2 sons myself. One is 4, and I actually have a 1-month-old. So, long nights at times. So,
I'm lucky. I don't have to deal with that. Not yet.
So, man, I really, you know, as a father of a 4-year-old, that really blesses my heart to hear you say that. I really appreciate that. Gary Redus. Appreciate your time here.
Redus. There we go.
There we go.
Coach G or just G?
Coach G, just G, whatever. Yeah.
Just G, whatever.
Portal King, whatever.
Portal King. Hey, Portal King.
There it is. There it is. Gary, hey, man, we really appreciate you taking your time to do this. You've been a fantastic interview, and we appreciate all your insight to the program. And, man, we wish you the best of luck here at LSU. Obviously, we want to see back-to-back titles, maybe back-to-back-to-back. That way you can get your head coaching job. And you can check all the boxes and roll on.
Yeah.
But, man, we wish the best of luck to you here at LSU and also in your future career. We want to see you succeed because you've been such a great piece here at LSU the last 2 years. So appreciate your interview time, man, and your time. I hope you have a good night, man.
For sure. Appreciate you guys having me on. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers, man. Go Tigers.
Hey, man. Thanks, sir.
All right.